Aquileia had distinguished itself through the history as a unique place in many different ways. This is testified by a number of archaeological finds. Here is the Forum, the Piazza, which was the heart of the social and spiritual life of the city. Between the Decumano and the Cardo Massimo, close to the Anfo Canal and the Via Julia Augusta, we can see the ancient Roman road heading towards the Nordico region, the mall in Austria. The area is dated back to the 1st century, as we can deduce by studying the floors. The Forum was delimited by colonnades and arcades. The Piazza was surrounded instead by offices, shops, and other commercial and political activities. Another site of economic interest was the river port. The one discovered in Aquileia is one of the most well-preserved of the Roman Empire. Here, ships full of goods, ready to be traded, arrived and sailed from all over the Mediterranean. They were used to navigate the rivers such as the Natisone and Torre, whose width was merely 50 meters. We can still notice the remainings of the stone blocks on their banks, used to load and unload their boats. There are also rests of quays and perimeter walls of their facilities made for logistic use. Protected by the shadows of the cypresses, the Via Sacra, the sacred and main road, leads to the discovery of wonders and treasures preserved in the archaeological site. In the Piazza del Capitolo, the magnificent bell tower of the Basilica Patriarcale di Aquileia stands out in all its height. The basilica was dedicated to Santa Maria Assunta e Santa Ermacora, and now it is elected UNESCO World Heritage Site, along with the rest of the archaeological open site. It had been rebuilt 4 times in 4th century, from the Theodorian era to the 14th century, Its history goes back to the year 313, when Constantine had granted freedom of worship with the famous Edict of Milan. The architecture is functional and the dimensions impressive. A portico connects the central part to the baptistery with an octagonal plant. The basin in the middle is hexagonal, very typical of Aquileia. The southern hall is decorated with rare mosaics, like the famous representing a peacock, symbol of immortality. The interior is majestic and solemn. The three naves are separated by colonnades and the large hall is painted with wonderful frescoes in the apse. The Tribuna Magna, the famous sculpture, is set in the middle of the building, while the Chapel of Sant'Ambrogio is located on the right side. The pavement is also made in mosaic, and it is the largest early Christian mosaic in the Western world. An incredible number of symbolic scenes decorate the space with animals, plants, geometric motifs, portraits, allegories such as the Good Shepherd or the fight between the rooster and the turtle. Among sarcophagi, columns, and statues, we can see on the left of the main entrance the crypt full of archaeological finds. To the right side, instead, frescoes made with 19 scenes telling us the story of Santa Ermacora and the origin of the typical Christian rite of Aquileia decorate another crypt near the presbytery. The rite of Aquileia was very famous, especially for its songs. The quote in the Chronicles by San Girolamo can clear us the perception of this rite with no polite shortcut. The clerics of Aquileia sing like saints, he said. In Rome instead, they bark like dogs. Right across the forum, on the right-hand side of the Via Julia Augusta, the archaeological area is set right in front of the basilica. This was the residential area with private houses. We can still see two residences. The one, are located in the south, had been built around the central room made for welcoming guests. The other one had been allocated in the middle of the courtyard. These houses show signs of rebuilding as they've been added with an apse, the famous oratory of the Good Shepherd. The name comes from the scene made in mosaic on the floor and representing the Good Shepherd. The Paleo-Christian National Museum of Aquileia, along with the National Archaeological Museum, has one of the finest collections of Roman antiquities. It is also a center of studying and cataloging. The amount of material found during the excavations can tell us the history of the city with an incredible accuracy. Floor of this 3 floors facility corresponds to the original plant of the basilica. Tombs have been found in the pavement, which is made in mosaic with geometrical and colorful patterns. On the first floor, we can find the exposition of the old mosaics, once part of the regional church. Its balcony gives a complete view of the decorated ground floor right beneath the visitor. On the second floor, there is a collection of 130 funerary inscriptions with graffiti, natural elements and symbols representing the loved ones. This is the richest and the most complete exhibitions in the world. Since 1882, the National Archaeological Museum was established and located in the Villa Costis Faraone, owned by the homonym family. It is also one of the most important museums on Roman civilization. The museum was started by the collector Gian Domenico Bertoli, who also founded the Museo Lapidario Aquileiese, Lapidary Museum of Aquileia. The museum is formed by 2 floors of the villa. On the ground floor, we can find statues wonderfully manufactured, capitals, urns, bas-reliefs with inscriptions and mosaics. Taking the stairs, there is a beautifully displayed exhibition of portraits of the ancient inhabitants of Aquileia. On the first floor, there are 2 areas dedicated to the domus and the private spaces. There is a consistent number of antiquities related to the private, social, religious, artistic, commercial and productive life. In the garden, there are the lapidary galleries with a variety of funerary monuments, votive altars, columns and, of course, precious mosaics.